Hey Stampers, welcome to Brandy's Cards. So are you guys ready for your Christmas card? Christmas 2017, I am so excited. So this is a stamp set from the holiday catalog, Christmas sweaters. So I had to pull out my red sweater as well today to get festive. So this is the Christmas sweaters by Stampin' Up. And you can see there's 6 different fun sweaters in here. And I have actually designed a card with all of them except, oh, I should take that back. Almost all of them except this one here. I just haven't had a chance to play with it. And maybe this one you can help me out with some suggestions because I like it, but I'm not there yet. But I'm excited to show you what I've done with the other stamps in this stamp set. We're also going to use Cheer to the Years. This is a fun one. And we're going to use this little snowflake right here for our background. It's very cute. And then lastly, we're going to use Half Full. And you're like thinking, well, what? Well, this one's great for New Year's. You know, it's just great if you have a girlfriend that you, or, you know, somebody you want to have a fun, festive card for. And here it says Merry Christmas in here. The best wines are the ones we drink with friends. I love that. I thought that was pretty cute. So, and not to mention, may your glass always be half full. I thought that was great. So let's set these aside. These are all in the Stampin' Up! 2017 Holiday Catalog. So if you haven't already gotten your catalog, just let me know. I can send another one to you right away. And if you are new to Brandy's Cards and you don't already have a demonstrator, go over to brandyscards.com and send me an email. Give me your address and I'll be sure to drop one in the mail to you right away. Of course, I'd love to answer any questions that you have as well. All right, so let's get started. So I have basic black or archival black, real red, blushing bride, Sahara sand. You're like, what do you do with those colors? But I'm excited to show you what I'm going to do with those. Here is the fun card we're making today. Look at that Santa. He is so cute. And you see the dazzling diamonds glitter on his beard and his hat. Oh, it's just so festive. I love this. And the green is Old Olive. The around his sweater, that's Pool Party. And then again, your Merry Christmas came from the Half Full stamp set. So I'm going to show you how I made this. It's super easy. It's a lot of fun. And, well, you get to play with glitter. So, I mean, it's a win-win all the way around. So let's go ahead and get started with our base. So we're going to fold our real red cardstock in half. I have a multi-purpose adhesive. I've already cut it inside. So, you know, I'm just going to put my inside in before I get started. And when I say put it in, I typically just put it right here on the top. And I'll show you why, because that was a lot easier. And then I just do a little flippy-do, and now it's on the bottom. So it's super easy. Here is the little snowflake I was telling you about. I'm just going to ink it up in real red and very randomly stamp my base for my Santa. You know, he needed some snowflakes and a festive background. Although he is pretty cute on his own, I just kind of wanted to give him a festive background. So we're just about done, and I think I'm going to do one more. Perfect. So now we have our base almost done. I've got some thick white baker's twine. You know, this time I decided to wrap it twice. You know, I never really know. I thought it just added a little something extra with the wrapping it twice, but you can just wrap it once if you would like. You know, it's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to tie a bow right here on the right-hand side, so that way when I add my rectangle or my Santa, he'll just fit perfectly right next to it. So I'm just about done tying my bow. I always give him a little haircut because sometimes my bows get a little out of hand right there at the beginning. But I would rather have them a little bit too long than have them too short, and then you're like, oh, then you waste a piece of nice twine. So I usually just have them a little too long versus a little too short. So we're going to go ahead and just trim my bow real quick. Perfect. Okay. Now let's move on to the Santa. So I've got all of my little pieces right here. Actually, I've only got 2 pieces left. I have Pool Party and I have Whisper White. So let's use our basic black, and I'm going to stamp my Santa straight down, straight up. Perfect. And now that I think about it, when you're doing this card, you're gonna actually need 2 pieces of Whisper White because we're actually gonna cut our Santa out. We're gonna cut out our sweater. So I just pulled in an extra piece of white that I had sitting here next to me. Let's go ahead and stamp our Merry Christmas. And we wanna do that, right? Because if we mess up, we've got a second side. So let's go ahead and get that stamped. And I'm just gonna stamp it right here in the center and the bottom. So that turned out great. Perfect. So let's add this piece to the top of our pool party. And there we have it. Perfect. Okay, so we are almost done. Now to the fun stuff. Are you guys ready to color Santa? I am, and I'm excited to add some glitter to him as well. So here's how I did it. The first thing I recommend is starting out with Old Olive. I'm using Stampin' Write markers, but you can use, I wanted that really kind of a darker, brighter green, but you could certainly try to pull out your watercolor pencils if you'd like. You could certainly use an aqua painter, but that's gonna be a little bit lighter. But today I'm using the Stampin' Write markers. So this is what I recommend. You use the end, the big end, and I would recommend bigger strokes. And the reason is because, here, let me just show you on a piece of scrap cardstock here. Actually, here's I'll just do it right here on this Santa, and then I've got one to my right that I can use as well. So if you don't use big strokes and you start coloring on top, do you see how you start to get kind of layers on top of each other, and it just sort of kind of looks splotchy, if you will? So if you don't want it to be kind of that splotchy looking, then you're gonna kind of need to make some big strokes. Now remember, we're cutting the sweater out so you can go outside the lines. However, the Santa's on the inside, so you have to be careful that you don't get green on him. So I start with this side over here because I feel like if I get this side accomplished, the other side's fairly easy. So remember, big, big strokes. And take it all the way down to his sleeve. And I'm gonna say this one worked out pretty well. Now over here, this one's, when it's over on the side and it's not a very big space, you know, these are pretty easy, and you don't have to worry too much about the smaller sides are a lot easier than the big sides, for sure, where there's more coverage, I should say. So I'm just kind of finishing it off. Now it's funny, I've colored this sweater 2 or 3 times, and every time I've done it, I've always forgotten the inside of the sweater. So I'm gonna point it out right now so we don't forget it. I've put everything away and then I'm like, oh, the inside of the sweater. So let's just go ahead and color the inside of the sweater so we get that done and out of the way. All right, so the green is done. Now let's pull out Pool Party. This is a Pool Party Stampin' Write marker. Now what I'm gonna do is very lightly just make small strokes along the neckline. And the reason that I'm not gonna go back and forth is because I'm actually going to, go through and color it a little bit further. For example, every other one I'm gonna color a little darker with the same marker. And I can do that because I did a very light stroke the first time. So it's not, you know, it's just making it a little bit darker, a little bit more contrasty. You certainly don't have to do that. You could grab 2 different markers if you wanted to, but I just thought this was kind of an easy answer to getting a little bit of contrast that didn't necessarily take away from Santa. Of course, we need red because we've got our Santa in here. So let's color his hat. Now here you got to be a little bit careful because you have your green sweater and you have the white part of Santa's hat. So you just got to be a little bit more careful through here, but it's not too bad. Okay. Now I recommend getting all of your coloring done before you add your glitter, because once you add your glitter, well, it can get messy. So I would say color first, and you don't want to get glitter on your markers or in your stamp pads. So we're gonna squeeze our Blushing Bride, and we're gonna open that up. We're gonna squeeze our Sahara Sand to get ink on the top, and we're opening that up. I have a blender pen, and I'm just gonna make sure it's clean, and then I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Blushing Bride. And I'm just going to color his face. Now, when I did this, I felt like, you know, I could probably leave his face alone. But then after looking at his face and the beautiful glitter and the great sweater, I felt like he didn't look very warm. He just had this like stark white face. So I just felt like we needed to color, give him a little bit of color. So I've used Blushing Bride pretty lightly to color his whole face. Now I've taken a little bit deeper Blushing Bride, and I'm gonna kind of right on his little cheeks to kind of give him some rosy cheeks. Let's clean off our blender pen, and over here is Sahara Sand. I also did the same kind of aha moment with his glasses. Do I really need to color his glasses? Well, after a rosy face and a green sweater, his glasses were like bright white. So I don't really know anybody with bright white glasses, so I figured, yeah, we might need to add a little bit of tint to his glasses so that he has so that he's a little bit more pop to him. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna work with the glitter. So I'm gonna take out my multi-purpose adhesive, and I also have a Q-tip just in case I need it. And I know you guys are going, well, now why don't you use the fine tip glue pen? Or really, you're gonna use that? Well, yeah, I do. I'm gonna use this today because I feel like if you look at the card, for an example, look at this one here. Look how it's just beautiful the coverage is with the Dazzling Diamonds. It just grabs it beautifully. So I am gonna use multi-purpose adhesive. So here we go, let's just get started. Let's just dive in. So I'm gonna just very lightly sort of go back and forth here. And the idea is I don't want to get the glue on the black lines, because then you kind of lose your image. So what I would recommend is if you do get that, just use your scissors, or if you have a, you know, a poker tool or something like that, just kind of wipe it away from that black line, and then the black line shows back up. Trust me on that, it does work. So I'm over here in his little, I've done his beard, and I'm over in the little part of his hat. Now let's come up to the top of his hat up here, and we'll just kind of do a little circle motion. You don't want a lot of glue, no big globs of glue. And that is where your Q-tip comes in, is for the globs of glue, because we don't want any globs of glue. So you've got a Q-tip here, just make sure it's clean. And you can literally kind of go back and forth, and just kind of, not really back and forth, but just sort of dab it up a little bit. I'm not looking to necessarily spread the glue as I am just dab up some of the big clumpy spots. And you know, you might be able to find something better than a Q-tip. Q-tip definitely sticks in the glue, but again, it's more just to dab up the big globs. So let's add our Dazzling Diamonds to it, and let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. So here we go. Let's fold our little sweater, and we'll tap it off back in there. And I like to just tap it off on my cardstock as well. Oh my gosh, it looks so cute. I'm excited to show you guys. We're gonna just tap off the excess back into the glitter bottle. We'll put the lid on that guy. It's just good to, like, when you work with glitter, just get it moved over so that you don't get it anywhere else. And you see, just because I dabbed the glue up a little bit with that Q-tip, it really made it a nice soft coverage. But again, the Q-tip, if you use the Q-tip and you don't use it, if the glue starts getting too sticky, it definitely can kind of stick a little bit. So, you know, you might find something else, maybe a wooden stick or something to kind of smooth that. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our scissors. I have just some snips here, and now typically I would say totally leave white around the edges. Well, in this case, you can already see that I've colored outside of the lines. So I don't really want to leave a whole lot of green outside the lines. So in this instance, I would say, you know, try to do the best you can and get as close as you can to the sweater. Otherwise, it will definitely look like you've colored outside of the lines. So I'm just going to kind of cut around his cuff and then around the base of his sweater. And up here. All right, I think we are done with his sweater. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. Let's flip him over and let's add some Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of him. And you know, I usually just put one or two. Where is my card at? There it is. All right. So I'm gonna add it here to my, my rectangle. It is a rectangle because it's not a perfect square. It's like 3 1/4 by 3 1/2, I believe. But it does look like a square. But anyway, isn't that really cute? So let's flip that piece over and let's add Stampin' Dimensionals behind this piece. We're gonna add it to our card. All right, so we have the little bow that we've already tied. And so this is the biggest, the coolest thing in the whole world when you've got the bases all done and it's all pretty, and then you stick your image on top. Oh my goodness, look at that. How fun is that? I love him. So Merry Christmas, ho, 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 right? So this was my fun Christmas card, Christmas sweater. And I was really excited to show this card to you because I just think that sometimes, you know, just some of the cards, if you add glitter or you add an embellishment, these images stand alone beautifully if you just kind of dress them up a little bit. So I was really, really excited to show you what I had done. So let's look at some of the other cards. We're gonna just push Santa aside here so that he can just kind of hang out. I'm gonna clean up my space a wee bit. So here is the next one. This one is probably one of my favorites too because it has gingerbreads and cookies and chocolate chip cookies and all of those wonderful things I look forward to in the holidays. And so you can see I used some coral, some pool party, blushing bride. So I used a bunch of non-traditional colors that I thought really worked well. And so here's a fun one. This one is also kind of using the blushing bride in pool party, but I just sort of did the sweater back and forth. It gave me that cool snowy feel. And in the center, I used the fine tip glue pen and just colored in my snowflake and then added the dazzling diamonds. So I thought that looked nice. The season greetings actually came from the Cheer to the Years stamp set. So that was kind of fun. Okay, and for those of you who live in the warm places, I thought this was kind of a fun take on this sweater. Shows the snowman, the sand snowman, with a cactus and some sunshine. And so I wanted this one to be bright and cheerful, but yet kind of, you know, have that snowman cool cat feel. He's kind of got a turquoise little shirt on. So anyway, I thought that was a fun beachy feel. I really liked that one. And this one, okay, so I'm not in love with this. And remember I said I kind of needed some help. I'm not in love with this one, and I think that I could do better. But, you know, I haven't had a chance to kind of play with it anymore. And so I thought, I'm going to show it to you guys and see what you guys think. See what you think I should do to it. I kind of think that it needs to be on a base with some like really bright colors because it's, you know, they're the Christmas light bulbs. But, you know, we'll see. I'm going to play with that one some more. So anyway, these are some fun variations of the Christmas sweaters stamp set. I hope that you enjoyed them. I'll have some PDF tutorials available. I so appreciate you stopping by Brandy's Cards. I can't wait for you to see the holiday catalog if you haven't already received it, and if you have, I hope you're dreaming about the cards that you're going to begin to make for family and friends as well. Let me know if you have any questions. I sincerely appreciate your business and stopping by, and I hope that you have a blessed day. Thanks. Bye.